The Kraft Music Hall with Bing Crosby, John Scott Trotter and his orchestra, Marilyn Maxwell, the Music Maids and Men, Yuki, the Charioteers, and Bing's distinguished guest for this evening, a man just back from entertaining the troops in the Mediterranean, Richard Hayden. And here is Bing Crosby.
There's a troop ship just leaving Bombay, bound for the Blimey shore, heavily laden with time-expired men, bound for the land they adore. There's many a bloke who has just missed the boat. There's many a lad signing on. But there'll be no promotion this side of the ocean. So cheer up, my lads, bless them all. Bless them all, bless them all. The long and the short and the tall. Bless all the sergeants, the first kickers too. Bless all the corporals, bless you, for we're saying goodbye to them all. As up the gangway we crawl, no ice cream and cookies for stout-hearted rookies. Cheer up, my lads, bless them all.
They say that in camp you can have a swell time. We've heard it all before.
5 in the morning, you're kicked out of bed to scrub up the barracks room floor.
A private has really no privacy now. We're all behind the 8 ball. No ice cream and cookies for flat-footed rookies. So cheer up, my lads, bless them all.
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 The long and the short and the tall. Bless all the blondies and all the brunettes. Each man is happy with whatever he gets, for we're giving the eye to them all. Those who attract and appall. Bless Maggie and Susie, who's gonna be choosy when you're in camp, bless them all.
Privates and generals, big and small.
When you're in camp, bless them all. This here is the old Kraft Music Hall, friends, moving out over the airwaves to our fighting men on every battlefront of the globe. Big offensives are in the making as we now approach the most serious phase of the war. And even though you've bought plenty of war bonds before, now is really the time to buy more. It takes mountains of money to keep those flyers of ours blasting a pathway in Europe for our troops. We've got to do everything we can to give those Air Corps men of ours every bit of support they need. Have you been doing anything lately, Marilyn, for the flyers?
Well, yes, Bing. The other night I went out with a navigator. But those boys must be bashful. Because it was an hour before he held my hand, and it was another hour before he kissed me.
Well, you've got to expect that from a navigator.
Well, why?
Well, they always stop to chart their courses.
Say, I could have told you that, Miss Maxwell. I'm an expert on navigation.
You are, huh? Well,
Yeah.
see if you can steer clear of me.
Well, later. But right now I need some personal advice on some business.
Business?
Maybe you can give it to me, huh?
Fine. Tell me your problem, and I'll try and give you the business.
I'm in love.
Oh, yipe. Who are you in love with?
A girl, what else? What a girl. You know, she came out in 41.
What's her time on the backstretch? Better pull her up. She's going too fast.
You wouldn't say that after you've seen a picture here. Take a look at it.
Oh, has Ripley seen this?
Just a minute, you're holding the picture upside down.
Oh, upside down. Oh, pardon me. Oh, now. Now I've got it straight. I got a TL for you.
What?
Look better the other way.
Say, how can I make an impression with the girl?
Stay away from her.
Well, Yuki, whatever you do, don't give her that line that 2 can live as cheap as 1. I tried that once with a girl.
What happened?
Her father moved in with me.
Say, have you got any suggestions, Mr. Trotter?
Well, I was in love once, but the girl gave me the runaround.
That kid must have been quite an athlete.
That's my boy that said that.
I can see I'll get nowhere talking to you guys. Say, Miss Maxwell, what type of a man do you think girls really prefer?
Well, personally, Yuki, I like a man who is tall. In fact, I can hardly resist kissing a man if he's over 6 feet.
Somebody get me a chair, please.
Look, Bing, I'm invited over to our house for dinner, and I need a little advice on how to act on the table.
At the table?
Yeah.
Oh, just act within your reach.
No, what I mean is, suppose they serve peaches, see?
Yeah?
What do I do with the pits?
With the peach pits?
Yeah, do I bend down when nobody's looking and slip them into the cuffs of my trousers?
Oh, much simpler way than that.
What?
Well, you just hold the pits in your hand.
Yeah.
You shake hands with the hostess when you're saying goodnight.
Then what?
Just let go.
Oh.
Marilyn's going to let go now with Milkman. Keep those bottles quiet.
Quiet. Can't use that jive on my milk diet. So, milkman, keep those bottles quiet. But jumping on the swing shift all night, turning out my quota, well, all right. Now I'm beat right down to the sod, and I've got to dig myself some nods. So, milkman, keep those bottles quiet. Now the noise of the riveter, I don't mind it, 'cause the man with the whiskers has a lot behind it. But I can't keep punching with that victory crew when you're making me punchy with that bottled moo. I want to give my all if I'm gonna give it, but I gotta get my shot eye if I'm gonna riv it. So bail out bud with that milk barrage, 'cause it's unpatriotic, it's a sabotage. Milkman, stop that greedy riot. Cut out if you can't lullaby it. Oh, milkman, keep those bottles quiet. Been knocking out a fat tank all day, working on a bomber. Well, okay, boy, you blast my wig with those clinks, and I've got to get my 40 wings. Milkman, keep those bottles quiet. Quiet. Shh.
Very clever little thing, Marilyn. That ought to keep that kid from agitating the acidophilus. More good advice now, this time from our chief advisor.
Ladies, the first step to good nutrition is getting a family to eat what's good for them. Those vitamin and mineral-packed salads will be eaten to the last lettuce leaf if they're topped with Miracle Whip salad dressing. For Miracle Whip does something to salads, gives them extra appetite appeal, makes them extra delicious. Now, the secret of Miracle Whip's wonderful flavor is the way it's made, from a special craft recipe that gives it a zesty, different flavor. It's not too sharp, not too bland, it's just exactly right. And that's why millions prefer Miracle Whip to any other salad dressing. Start tomorrow using Miracle Whip on all your salads. Notice how your family will eat them up, really enjoy them. Remember the name Miracle Whip, America's favorite salad dressing.
Now, John.
Time marches back. 1929, Franklin Delano Roosevelt is sworn in as governor of the state of New York. Bobby Jones wins the National Open. 1929, Commander Byrd flies to the South Pole, and Albert Einstein issues his theory of relativity. 1929, and during the long winter nights of this Depression year, thinking young men sitting with their girls before the fireplace are saying,
Oh, gee, it's sure nice sitting here in your living room, throwing logs on the fire. But that wood sure burns fast.
Yes, this last load of wood is almost gone.
Sure is. Tell you what, if we need any more, I'll go next time.
Harry.
Yeah?
Isn't this comfy? Just you and I, here on the Davenport with a house all to ourselves.
You mean your father isn't home?
No, Harry.
Your mother isn't here either, huh?
Uh-uh.
How about your little sister?
She's gone, too.
Then we're here all alone.
Mm-hmm. All alone.
Well, I guess I'll go down to the pool room. I'm lonesome.
here with me, please.
Oh, gee, you remind me of that other girl I used to go with. The first time I took her out, I took her to supper, then I took her to a movie, then for a drive, and then I took her home.
Oh, didn't you kiss her goodnight?
Shucks, no. I figured I'd done enough for that girl already.
My time is your time.
What's that?
Well, that's a new song, My Time is Your Time. I heard it sung on the radio by a fella named Rudy Valley. Ever hear of it?
No, but I've heard his brother Lehigh. Oh, get it? Lehigh Valley. Rudy, pretty good, huh?
Well, Harry, you're a card.
I'm a sketch. You know any other new songs?
Well, there's one called Stardust.
How's that go?
Sometimes I wonder why I spend the lonely night dreaming of a song. Isn't that a pretty thing?
Yeah, I heard a good one. Reminds me of you.
Why, Harry?
Because it's pretty, and so are you. It goes like this.
Every little breeze seems to whisper Louise. Birds in the trees seem to twitter Louise. Each little rose tells me it knows I love you. Every little beat that I feel in my heart seems to repeat what I felt at the start. Each little sigh tells me that I adore you, Louise. Just to see and hear you brings joy I never knew. But to be so near you thrills me through and through. Anyone can see why I wanted your kiss. It had to be, but the wonder is this. Can it be true someone like you could love me, Louise? Just to see and hear you brings joy I never knew. But to be so near you thrills me through and through. Anyone can see why I wanted your kiss. It had to be, but the wonder is this. Can it be true someone like you could love me, Louise?
After gathering a mighty crop of guffaws in such films as Ball of Fire, as well as on the radio, Richard Hayden, ofttimes known as Professor Carp, went abroad several months ago. His mission, under the auspices of the British equivalent to our own Victory Committee, was to entertain the troops at the very front. This evening we welcome him back, Professor Richard Hayden.
How do you do?
How do you do, Professor?
How do I do what?
No.
Oh, I see what you mean. I'm afraid I'm still all of a twitter over an incident what occurred on the train on my return to California.
Why, what happened, Professor?
Well, as the train left the terminal at New York, I was standing, and an elderly lady started to arise and offer me her seat. And naturally, I was too chivalrous to accept, so I refused, and held her firmly in her seat with my knee. After 3 days, on arriving at Pasadena, I noticed that she, too, was all a-twitter.
What about?
Well, it seemed she wanted to get off at Philadelphia.
Well, to try out for the Phillies, probably. Professor, how long were you up at the front with the boys?
Oh, about 15 months, Mr. Crosby. Oh, and yes, the boys hear quite a few of your broadcasts and recordings. They're especially fond of hearing your Bob Hope song.
Bob Hope song? I've never sung a song about Bob Hope.
Oh, yes, let me recall it to you. Bob Hope, Bob Hope, Bob Hope, Bob Hope. You remember?
Yes, I do now.
Professor, we heard about you being in the Mediterranean Theater. Did your trip take you anywhere else?
Oh, yes, Mr. Carpenter. I went directly from America to Europe. And I also visited England.
Beautiful country, England. I particularly like Worcestershire. Great country.
Oh, yes, you see some pretty things there.
Do you really, Professor?
You see some pretty things here, too.
Did you go to Africa, Professor?
Oh, yes, both North and South. South Africa. Car boogie in the strangest way. I beg your pardon. I am the singer in this group, Mr. Crosby.
Well, Professor, did you visit Tobruk?
Yes.
Algiers?
Yes.
Salerno?
Could be.
Were you in Casablanca?
No, that was Ingrid Bogart.
Oh.
Did you see any action up there at the front?
Oh, I was in quite a few bombings.
Well, Professor, what did you do in case of a raid?
Swallowed the dice and hid the money. Now, look, this tittering must stop.
Well, Professor, now that you're back after such a fatiguing trip, I suppose you're going to rest up a bit, get some sleep, and build up your stamina?
Oh, no, not at all. I have already launched a new project. I have purchased a bus, and I'm running sightseeing tours throughout Hollywood.
Well, what do you charge for your tours, Professor?
Oh, I have two prices for the Hollywood tour, 50 cents and 75 cents. For 75 cents, I include a box lunch and a trip through Boys Town.
Now, wait a minute. I thought Boys Town was in Nebraska.
Oh, sorry, I meant Bing Crosby's house.
Bing, why don't you take a trip in the professor's bus?
I'd be delighted to have you as a passenger, Mr. Crosby. Now, you wait here and I'll be back practically instantly. Well, here's my bus, Mr. Crosby. It's completely equipped with a stupid charger, no hair upholstery, and a dog license.
Why a dog license?
Well, can't you see it's a greyhound?
Of course.
Well, now, hop in and let's get on our way with our sightseeing.
Hey, can I go along?
Yuki, we're going sightseeing, not seeing sights.
What about me? I'd like to go, too.
All right, Mr. Trotter, trot in.
All right, where do I sit?
You'll find a seat in the last row.
Where do I sit?
Take that seat in the second row.
Where do I sit?
You can have those two seats in the third row. And now, gentlemen, if you will remain perfectly quiet and give me your undivided attention, I will point out the various places of interest. We are now passing through Hollywood, the fastest growing city in Los Angeles. I must insist upon a deathly hush. Thank you. The main thoroughfare we are approaching is Hollywood Boulevard, one of the world's finest game preserves.
Game preserve? Why, nobody goes hunting on Hollywood Boulevard.
Tourist, huh?
And now, gentlemen, on the left we have...
Oh, boy, pipe that blonde.
How do you do? Step right in, Missy.
Oh, thank you very much.
Oh, that's all right. The fare is a paltry 50 cents.
Oh, but I haven't got 50 cents.
Here, I'll pay a fare.
No, I'll pay her fare.
No, let me pay it.
No, let me pay it.
Well, all right, you pay it.
Quitter.
Ladies and gentlemen, I don't want to have to get ugly. No. The magnificent edifice we are passing is the Cathay Circle.
You mean Grauman's Chinese?
Is he? I thought he was an American. Attention, please. On the left, ladies and gentlemen, is the Bob Hope Studio.
What do you mean, the Bob Hope Studio? That's Paramount. I worked there, too, you know. Yes,
Well-
the Bob Hope Studio.
Well, you see what it is, Mr.
You saw my last picture, didn't you?
That's right.
Well.
And Mr. Hope had all the best billing.
Yes,
And he also had the best jokes.
yes.
Well,
On the left, ladies and gentlemen, is the Bob Hope Studio.
and now, folks, on the right we have the National Broadcasting Company, and on the left, Boulder Dam.
Boulder, damn. Why, that's ridiculous.
Mr. Trotter, will you please sit down?
Excuse me. Say, what's that over there? Isn't that a racetrack?
Yes, that is beautiful Santa Anita. If you will look to your left, you will notice one of Mr. Crosby's horses round in the far turn into the stretch.
But the last race at Santa Anita was run 2 years ago.
A Crosby horse never gives up. And now we are approaching the houses of our movie stars. On the left, you can see Dorothy Lamour taking a sunbath.
What's on the right?
This is no time for silly, idiotic questions. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we continue through the residential district of the movie stars. And on the left, we have... Mr. Crosby, put down that brick. Please, Mr. Crosby, don't throw it.
I did it, and I'm glad.
We have just passed Frank Sinatra's house.
While our jalopy jockey takes the professor's greyhound back to the kennel, listen to the charioteers singing I'll Get By.
I'll get by as long as I have you. Though there be rain and darkness too, I'll not complain. I'll see it through. Poverty may come to me, that's true. But what care I, dear? I'll get by as long as I have you. Poverty may come to me, that's true. Say what care I, dear, I'll get by just as long as I have you.
Say, Bing, do you know that the dairy farmers of the United States this year are trying to better their all-time record of 1943?
What's the new record they want to set?
121,237,000,000 pounds of milk.
That's a lot of bottles to keep quiet, isn't it?
Yes, and it's a lot of milk for the nation's 26 million cows to give.
But, Ken, cows don't give milk.
They don't.
No, you have to take it away from them.
Well, give or take, those 121,237,000,000 pounds represent about 56,412,900,000 quarts. Did you know that?
Of course I do. Look, Kenneth, if all this is leading up to a gag, you better stop milking it.
Well, it's no gag, Bing. Milk and the products of milk, such as cheese, are so vital in the nutrition of fighters and civilians that what our dairy farmers produce can affect the time that victory comes for all of us.
Right, Ken. The American dairy farmer will get no decoration for his heroism and service, no medal to wear on his Sunday best suit. He gets little of that priceless inspiration, public recognition for work well done. But he's got a job, and he's doing it just the same. None of us works more days, more hours, more valiantly than the men and women, the boys and the girls left on the nation's dairy farms.
I'll be seeing you in all the old familiar places that this heart of mine embraces all day through. In that small cafe, the park across the way, the children's carousel, the chestnut trees, the wishing well. I'll be seeing you in every lovely summer's day, in everything that's light and gay. I'll always think of you that way. I'll find you in the morning sun, and when the night is new, I'll be looking at the moon, but I'll be seeing you. Find you in the morning sun, and when the night is new, I'll be looking at the moon, but I'll be seeing you.
Well, friends, that's it in the hall for this evening. Next week, exactly 7 days and an extra war bond later, more sand talks and thrills on the teeterboard, involving our regular group and featuring Katina Paxonu, the sensational Pilar for whom the bell tolls. So be here, because this must be the place. Till then, hasta la vista, adios amigos, besame mucho.
Tune in the Kraft Music Hall next Thursday at this same time to hear Bing Crosby, John Scott Trotter and his orchestra, the Music Maids and Men, Yuki, the Charioteers, and our special guest for the evening, Katina Paxano. Marilyn Maxwell appeared through the courtesy of Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer, the producers of The White Cliffs of Dover.
For your weekend outing or Memorial Day picnic, be sure to take along a jar of tangy golden Kraft salad mustard. Taste-tingling Kraft salad mustard is just what's needed to pep up sandwiches, deviled eggs, and other appetizing picnic treats. Take a jar of that other mustard, too, the sharper variety with nippy horseradish added. Please the whole family. Buy both varieties. Put Kraft salad mustard and Kraft horseradish mustard on your shopping list tomorrow.
National Broadcasting Company.